Saying goodbye is never easy, whether to a dear friend, a cherished family member, or even someone we've only admired from a distance, be they actors, musicians, or sports legends. This collection of names may include familiar faces, as well as those lesser known, but each of them has left an enduring imprint on our lives and the world we inhabit today. Some departed prematurely in their prime, while others enjoyed long and meaningful journeys before their final departure. While a few may have faded from the limelight in recent years, they all share a common thread. They will always hold a special place in our hearts. Join us as we pay tribute to these stars, exploring the circumstances of their departure and the remarkable accomplishments and legacies that ensure they will never be forgotten. Tony Burton. On February 25, 2016, the world bid farewell to a remarkable talent as 78-year-old actor and former boxer Tony Burton concluded his final bout, succumbing to a lengthy battle with pneumonia. To moviegoers and fans around the globe, Tony Burton will forever be etched in memory as Duke, the no-nonsense boxing trainer who left an indelible mark on the iconic Rocky film series. His presence graced a total of 6 Rocky films, including the 2006 sequel, Rocky Balboa. Burton's enduring friendship with Sylvester Stallone and Carl Weathers, who portrayed Apollo Creed in the franchise, added an extra layer of authenticity to his portrayal of the grizzled trainer. In a twist of fate that mirrored the stories of resilience and redemption often depicted on the silver screen, Tony Burton's own life had its share of ups and downs. Before his successful acting career, Burton ventured into the world of boxing and carved a path as a 2-time light heavyweight champion. However, his boxing career came to a close in 1959, leading him down a different path. Challenges emerged, and Burton found himself entangled in a period of turmoil, eventually leading to a 3-year prison sentence in California for robbery. It was within the confines of prison that Tony Burton discovered a new calling, acting. In 1974, he made his inaugural appearance in the world of cinema, with a role in the blaxploitation film, The Black Godfather. From there, Burton's acting career gained momentum, with a series of minor television roles paving the way for his breakout moment. His journey reached its zenith when he landed the role of Duke in the first Rocky film, a pivotal turning point that would forever alter his life and the course of cinematic history. George Reeves. George Reeves, an enduring figure in the early portrayal of Superman, carved out a unique place in the hearts of fans long before Christopher Reeve's iconic tenure. Yet, the story behind his connection with the role is a far cry from what one might expect. Despite being adored as the beloved superhero, Reeves found himself grappling with personal and professional challenges. Behind the scenes, it was evident that Reeves didn't wholeheartedly embrace his role as Superman. Reports and anecdotes paint a picture of a man who often displayed less than enthusiastic behavior. It's said that he would frequently turn to alcohol on set, coupled with remarks directed at his co-star Phyllis Coates, who portrayed Lois Lane, that hinted at his dissatisfaction. Phrases like, "Here's to the bottom of the barrel, babe," were not uncommon, usually preceding indulgence in more drinking. As the sands of time flowed, Reeves encountered a growing conundrum in his professional and personal life. Typecast due to his Superman persona, he found it increasingly difficult to secure serious film roles, as studios largely pigeonholed him as a children's television personality. This abrupt shift in his career trajectory took a heavy toll, leading to weight gain and descending into the depths of severe depression. Tragically, on June 16, 1959, the world was shaken by the mysterious and untimely demise of George Reeves. His death remains enshrouded in ambiguity, with various theories swirling around the circumstances. The question lingers as to whether he deliberately took his own life, if someone within his inner circle was involved, or if it was an accidental shooting, perhaps exacerbated by painkillers stemming from a prior car accident. The handling of the case by detectives left much to be desired, as they swiftly branded it a suicide, without conducting comprehensive investigations, potentially tampering with crucial evidence. Omar Sharif. Omar Sharif, an iconic figure in the world of cinema, will forever be remembered for his legendary performances in films like Lawrence of Arabia and Dr. Zhivago. His career spanned over 6 decades, leaving an indelible mark on the film industry. Born in Egypt, Sharif's talent and charisma made him a global cinematic sensation. While his roles in classic films introduced him to American audiences, his career continued to thrive for many years. Even in his later years, he graced the screen in notable films like Rock the Casbah, The 13th Warrior, and Hidalgo. In 2015, the film world was struck with sadness as news of Sharif's Alzheimer's disease diagnosis surfaced. Later, that same year, he suffered a heart attack, which ultimately led to his passing on July 10, 2015, in Cairo, Egypt. The rapid deterioration of his mental health was a heartbreaking ordeal for his family, as he gradually lost the memories that had illuminated his illustrious life. Although he retained some broader aspects of his identity as an actor, the finer details, such as specific film dates, slipped away. Omar Sharif's legacy as a cinematic great will forever shine brightly in the history of film. Kenny Baker. Kenny Baker, a true legend despite his petite stature, etched his name into the annals of movie history. Standing at just 3 feet and 8 inches, he proved that greatness doesn't always come in towering packages. His incredible career spanned nearly 3 dazzling decades, and his contribution to the cinematic world was nothing short of magical. From the moment A New Hope graced the silver screen in 1977 to the epic finale, Revenge of the Sith, in 2005, Kenny Baker was the invisible wizard inside the iconic R2-D2 suit in every Star Wars adventure featuring the lovable droid. His work in the beloved galaxy far, far away was like a hidden treasure chest for fans. Yet, Kenny Baker's wizardry extended beyond the Star Wars universe. He sprinkled his magic in other cinematic gems, like Labyrinth, Time Bandits, Willow, and The Elephant Man. His performances were like spells, casting a spellbinding charm over audiences. In the twilight of his life, Kenny Baker faced his own battles, bravely confronting a lung condition that finally whispered goodbye to him on August 13, 2016. At 81, he slipped away into the dream world of sleep, leaving behind a legacy that soared far above his diminutive stature. George Lucas, the mastermind behind Star Wars, fittingly described Kenny Baker as the heart and soul of R2-D2. He was the magician who brought the beloved robot to life, winning the hearts of fans across the globe. Kenny Baker's memory continues to twinkle like a star, reminding us that true greatness knows no boundaries, not even those of height. David Graff. If you were a fan of the Police Academy films, you definitely knew and cherished David Graff. He brought Eugene Tackleberry to life in all 6 films, and beyond that, he graced shows like The West Wing, Touched by an Angel, and Caroline in the City, as well as films like Rule of Engagement and the Brady Bunch movie. A seasoned character actor, Graff had that rare talent to slip into any role, be it comedic or serious, with finesse. Regrettably, both his career and life were destined to be shorter than they deserved. On April 7, 2001, while celebrating a family wedding in Arizona, Graff was struck by a severe heart attack from which he could not recover. He passed away that very day, just 1 week shy of his 51st birthday. Tragically, this thread of heart issues seemed to run in the family. As per a Variety review of Surviving David, a one-woman play performed by Graff's widow Catherine, both David's father and grandfather had succumbed to heart attacks at the age of 51. It's a plot line that sounds like it's from a movie, but sadly, it's an all-too-real and poignant part of their family history. Rebecca Schaefer. Rebecca Schaefer was well on her way to achieving stardom when tragedy struck. In just a few years in the acting world, she had already landed significant roles, including a part in the CBS sitcom My Sister Sam. She had a string of films to her name, graced the cover of 17 magazine, and was even in consideration for the lead role in Pretty Woman, which eventually went to Julia Roberts. In essence, she was poised to become a superstar. However, along her path to fame, she caught the attention of Robert Bardo, an obsessed fan who went to great lengths to obtain her home address. Tragically, he showed up at her residence, and their encounter ended in a horrifying manner, with Bardo fatally shooting her in the heart. In her final moments, Schaefer reportedly asked the chilling question, why? She was just 21 years old at the time. Bardo was arrested the following day and eventually convicted of first-degree murder, leading to a life sentence in prison. This tragic incident spurred change, prompting many states to implement robust anti-stalking laws, a measure that is now widespread. While it wasn't the fate Rebecca Schaefer had envisioned, her legacy includes making the world a little safer for others. Michelle Thomas. Michelle Thomas may not have been a part of the main cast, but she left a lasting impression in the 80s and 90s entertainment scene. Her role as Justine in the later seasons of The Cosby Show captured Theo Huxtable's heart. Following that, she joined Family Matters as Myra Monkhouse, a young woman head over heels for the mega nerd Steve Urkel, for some inexplicable reason. In addition to her sitcom work, she graced popular 90s music videos for R&B groups, Boyz II Men and Dru Hill. In 1998, she found a home in the daytime soap opera The Young and the Restless, playing Kylie Rogers. Sadly, just 2 months into her stint on that show, Thomas had to take a medical leave to battle cancer. Tragically, she lost her life to the disease in late December 1998, at the tender age of 30. Zaza Gabor. Zaza Gabor defied the odds, making it to the ripe age of 99, though she might have claimed she was a spry 75 if given the choice for her tombstone inscription. Gabor wasn't just a legendary actress, with a filmography spanning over 30 films since her career took flight in the 1950s. She was famous for simply being Zaza Gabor, a true precursor to the likes of Paris Hilton and others who would later make fame a career unto itself. Her personality was larger than life, always armed with a saucy one-liner and a wardrobe that defined glamour. Zaza had a knack for dressing to be unforgettable, once lamenting about contemporary starlets, "When you see them in real life, they look like nothing. But when Zaza graced the streets, you couldn't mistake her for anyone else." Married 9 times and known for knocking a few years off her age, Zaza had a penchant for calling everyone darling, whether they behaved like one or not. Her life took a somber turn in 2002 after a car accident left her partially paralyzed. Her health gradually declined, and on December 18, 2016, she passed away from heart failure. She had lived a life that was nothing short of extraordinary. Monty Hall. Monty Hall, the charming host of the iconic game show Let's Make a Deal, will forever be remembered for his role in one of the most beloved game shows of all time. The premise of the show was deceptively simple. Contestants had to decide whether to trade their current prize for a mystery one, hoping it was better. However, it was Monty Hall's affable charisma and the contestants' wild and wacky outfits that made the show legendary. In fact, the show even gave rise to a famous probability puzzle known as the Monty Hall problem. In a nutshell, if you ever found yourself on the show and had the option to switch doors, you should always switch. Statisticians and experts confirm that there's a 66% chance the better prize is behind the door you switched to. It might sound counterintuitive, but trust the math. Monty Hall continued to host the show until 1990, when it effectively concluded. In 2009, Let's Make a Deal made its triumphant return, this time with Wayne Brady as the host. However, as the New York Times reports, Monty Hall still owned the show and occasionally made appearances alongside Wayne Brady to make deals. Even in his later years, he exuded the same jovial and charismatic energy that had endeared him to generations of viewers. Sadly, time catches up with us all, and on September 30th, 2017, Monty Hall passed away at the age of 96 due to heart failure. His legacy as a game show legend lives on. Stephen Hill. Stephen Hill, a celebrated actor with a career spanning over half a century, left an indelible mark in the world of entertainment. His remarkable versatility and talent earned him the admiration of peers and audiences alike. Renowned producer Dick Wolf, who collaborated with Hill for nearly a decade on Law & Order, hailed him as one of the truly great actors of his generation. Despite not actively seeking the spotlight, Stephen Hill's contributions to television solidified his status as an enduring figure in the medium. Whether it was his role in the original Mission Impossible TV series in the 60s, or his decade-long portrayal of Adam Schiff in Law & Order, Stephen Hill consistently brought a compelling and grounded presence to the characters he portrayed on screen. His ability to infuse tension and authenticity into his roles set him apart as a remarkable actor. Tragically, Stephen Hill passed away on August 23, 2016, at New York's Mount Sinai Hospital, marking the end of an illustrious career that had captivated audiences for generations. He was 94 years old at the time of his passing, leaving behind a legacy of exceptional acting and timeless performances. Rod Taylor. Although younger generations may not immediately recognize the name, Rod Taylor's indelible mark on Hollywood is unmistakable. He achieved iconic status in 1963 when he landed the lead role in Alfred Hitchcock's unforgettable thriller, The Birds. However, his cinematic journey extended far beyond this defining moment, with Taylor appearing in over 30 films throughout the 60s and 70s. Notable credits include The Time Machine, Do Not Disturb, and Nobody Runs Forever. In a remarkable turn of events, Rod Taylor returned to the silver screen in 2009, portraying Winston Churchill in Quentin Tarantino's *Inglourious Basterds* at the age of 78. This role marked his final appearance in a career filled with memorable performances. Tragically, Rod Taylor passed away on January 7, 2015, just 4 days shy of his 85th birthday. The exact cause of his death remains unknown, but he departed surrounded by loved ones in the comfort of his home. Rod Taylor's legacy endures, a testament to his significant contributions to the world of cinema. Stevie Ryan. YouTube, the breeding ground for modern celebrities, has witnessed the rise and fall of many, and Stevie Ryan was one such luminary. Her YouTube channel, featuring the show Little Loca and impressions of old media icons, garnered millions of devoted followers. Ryan's star shone so brightly that she landed her sketch comedy show on VH1, Stevie TV, which enjoyed a 2-season run. Tragically, like so many creative talents, Ryan grappled with the shadows of depression. Her struggle intensified after the passing of her beloved grandfather. She candidly shared her concerns on the Mentally Chill podcast, saying, "I'm just worried that this is going to send me into a deeper depression." Regrettably, on July 1st, 2017, a mere 2 days after discussing her grandfather, Stevie Ryan took her own life. She left behind a poignant legacy as a talented and humorous individual whose inner demons prematurely extinguished her bright light. Edward Herman. Edward Herman almost invariably played characters with an air of superiority or entitlement. The imposing actor was often cast as big shots, wealthy individuals, barons of industry, and politicians. Some of his most notable roles of this nature included portraying Richie Rich's wealthy father in Richie Rich, the affluent husband of Goldie Hawn's character in the original Overboard, Vice President Nelson Rockefeller in Nixon, and President Franklin D. Roosevelt in the film adaptation of the musical Annie. Herman depicted FDR several times throughout his career, appearing in a 1970s made-for-TV movie, a miniseries, and lending his voice to the man in Ken Burns' The Roosevelts, An Intimate History. He was not only seen but also frequently heard, as he narrated numerous projects for the History Channel and served as the voice of Dodge in the 90s. However, Herman is perhaps best remembered for his role as Richard Gilmore, the genteel grandfather, in all 7 seasons of Gilmore Girls. Sadly, he passed away in 2014 before the Netflix revival of the show. According to his son, Herman succumbed to brain cancer at the age of 71. Ashley Aston Moore. In 1995, an extraordinary ensemble cast was brought together for a movie that exuded gentle nostalgia and followed the journey of teenage girls growing up in the early 1970s. Now and Then united 4 accomplished adult actresses as lifelong best friends in the present day, and alongside them were 4 talented up-and-coming actresses who portrayed their younger selves in the past. For instance, Christina Ricci and Rosie O'Donnell inhabited the characters of Roberta, while Gabby Hoffman and Demi Moore brought Samantha to life. Rita Wilson and Ashley Aston Moore took on the role of Chrissy, the most innocent and naive of the group. Among the quartet of young stars, Ashley Aston Moore had the least experience, with her first roles in made-for-TV movies beginning in 1993. Now and Then marked the pinnacle of her brief acting career. After a couple more film appearances and sporadic TV roles, Moore stepped away from acting in 1997. Tragically, her life took a devastating turn, and she passed away in 2007. As reported by Life and Style, the former actress succumbed to a fatal overdose of heroin at the tender age of 26. Michael Clarke Duncan. In the 90s, Michael Clarke Duncan found himself cast in a series of minor roles, often portraying bouncers, bullies, and security guards, both on-screen and in real life as he worked as a security professional. However, his big break came in the summer of 1998 when he secured the role of Bear, an oil driller turned astronaut, in the blockbuster hit Armageddon. Just a year later, Duncan's remarkable talent shone brightly in The Green Mile, where he portrayed John Coffey, a prison inmate wrongly convicted of crimes in the 1930s and gifted with a supernatural ability to heal. This performance garnered acclaim and a nomination for the Best Actor in a Supporting Role at the Academy Awards. The film itself received a nomination for Best Picture. Following this breakthrough, Duncan's commanding presence and distinctive deep voice led him to roles as both tough guys and gentle giants in a string of successful films, such as Talladega Nights, The Scorpion King, Planet of the Apes, and Sin City. In 2012, he took on a leading role in the Fox dramedy series The Finder. Tragically, just a few months after the show's cancellation, Duncan suffered a heart attack in July, and the complications that followed led to his passing in September. He was 54 years old. James Avery. In the realm of beloved TV characters, Uncle Philip Banks, the stern yet caring paternal figure from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, stands shoulder to shoulder with iconic dads like Mike Brady and Danny Tanner. James Avery, the actor behind this memorable character, left an indelible mark with his portrayal on the show that ran from 1990 to 1996. Avery's career, however, extended far beyond this beloved role. He voiced Shredder in the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated series, a role cherished by 90s kids. His acting repertoire boasts nearly 200 credits, with a notable focus on voice work during the 80s in shows like Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling, Rambo, and Super Friends. Simultaneously, he graced the screen in 80s TV dramas such as Simon and Simon, LA Law, and Cagney and Lacey. Following the conclusion of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Avery's career continued to flourish. He played the role of Dr. Crippen, a medical examiner, in the popular TNT procedural series The Closer. However, in November 2013, Avery underwent open-heart surgery. Sadly, complications arising from the procedure led to his passing on New Year's Eve of the same year. James Avery was 68 years old. Greg Geraldo. Despite his impressive legal background and a successful career as an attorney after graduating from Harvard Law School, Greg Geraldo made a significant life change in 1992 when he decided to pursue a career in comedy. In just 4 years, he secured his own sitcom, Common Law, although it was short-lived. By the 2000s, Geraldo had become a prominent figure on Comedy Central. Geraldo's comedic talents weren't limited to stand-up. He also made regular appearances on panel shows like Tough Crowd with Colin Quinn, Root of All Evil, and became most well known for his brutally humorous contributions to the network's televised celebrity roasts. In these roasts, he was known for his sharp and cutting humor, like likening Hulk Hogan to an old man who dresses like a Hooters waitress. Tragically, in 2010, Geraldo's life took a devastating turn. After his girlfriend was unable to contact him, a hotel employee found him unresponsive in his room. Geraldo was rushed to the hospital, but 5 days later, his family made the difficult decision to remove him from life support. He had slipped into a coma following a drug overdose and tragically never regained consciousness. Greg Geraldo passed away at the age of 44. Harold Ramis. Harold Ramis was a comedy legend who left an indelible mark on the world of film. His contributions, whether as an actor, director, writer, or a combination of these roles, significantly shaped the landscape of comedy films in the 80s and 90s. Ramis began his career by performing with the renowned Second City Improv troupe in Chicago, where his comedic talents quickly shone. He then moved on to National Lampoon, co-writing the brand's first feature film, the wildly successful college comedy Animal House. This was only the beginning of his illustrious career. He went on to write and direct the iconic goof movie Caddyshack, write and co-star in Stripes, direct National Lampoon's Vacation, and portray the beloved character Dr. Egon Spangler in Ghostbusters, which he also co-wrote. These films became classics in the comedy genre, earning him a special place in the hearts of audiences worldwide. In the 90s, Ramis continued to excel in the comedy scene. He directed and played pivotal roles in films like Groundhog Day, and he contributed to major comedies such as Knocked Up and Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox Story. Despite his remarkable career, tragedy struck when Ramis developed a rare medical condition called autoimmune inflammatory vasculitis, which causes blood vessels to swell. In the early morning hours of February 24th, 2014, Harold Ramis passed away at his Chicago home, leaving behind a legacy of laughter and unforgettable contributions to the world of comedy. He was 69 years old. Glenn Quinn. Glenn Quinn was a familiar face to fans of Angel and Roseanne. In Angel, he portrayed Doyle, Angel's advisor to the powers that be, and in Roseanne, he played Becky's handsome yet not so bright boyfriend. By the time of his untimely death on December 3, 2002, at the age of 32, he had established himself as a prominent figure in Hollywood. Quinn had even dated Gwyneth Paltrow, counted John Travolta among his friends, and was beginning to be compared to other Irish acting legends like Daniel Day-Lewis. However, fame often brings with it its own set of challenges, and for Quinn, it came with temptation and vices that ultimately led to his downfall. He fell into the grip of a heroin addiction and, tragically, resorted to begging for money from patrons of the clubs he had once owned, as reported by the Belfast Telegraph. On the fateful day of his passing, Quinn was crashing on a friend's couch after being expelled from rehab for drug use. Unbeknownst to his friend, he never woke up. Glenn Quinn had succumbed to a heroin overdose, marking the premature end of a brilliant talent in the entertainment world.
Judith Barcy. Despite her young age, Judith Barcy had a prolific career before her tragic demise at the tender age of 10. Commencing her journey at 3, Barcy graced a variety of television shows, including Twilight Zone, Punky Brewster, Remington Steele, and Cheers, while also making appearances in movies like Jaws, The Revenge, and Eye of the Tiger. However, she is most notably remembered for lending her voice to Ducky the Dinosaur in The Land Before Time and Anne-Marie in All Dogs Go to Heaven. What remains unknown to many who heard her voice in these films is that she had already passed away by the time they reached the screen. Jan Hooks. In the late 1980s, Saturday Night Live boasted one of its most remarkable casts in its storied history. This ensemble included outstanding talents like Dana Carvey, Dennis Miller, Phil Hartman, and Jan Hooks. Among these, Jan Hooks stood out as an exceptionally gifted performer with all the qualities required to become a Saturday Night Live all-star. She portrayed recurring characters such as the nightclub singer Candy Sweeney from the famous Sweeney Sisters, and possessed an uncanny ability to impersonate contemporary celebrities. Her rendition of Diane Sawyer was brilliantly smug, her Sinead O'Connor impersonation was irresistibly disaffected, and her take on Kathy Lee Gifford was uproariously loud and obnoxious. Hailing from Georgia, Jan Hooks bid farewell to Saturday Night Live in 1991, embarking on a new phase in her career by joining the cast of the Atlanta-based sitcom Designing Women. There, she embraced the role of the endearingly ditzy Carlene Dauber, winning hearts with her comedic genius. Her talents continued to shine as she secured recurring roles in some of the most beloved comedies of the next 2 decades. These included her memorable stint on Third Rock from the Sun, where she left an indelible mark, and her voice work on The Simpsons, where she brought Apu's wife, Manjula, to life with her trademark humor. Her comedic journey also led her to 30 Rock, where she further solidified her status as a comedy icon. However, amid her successful career, Jan Hooks faced a formidable adversary, a major illness that she bravely battled for an extended period. Sadly, this battle came to an end in October 2014, when Jan Hooks passed away at the age of 57. Her legacy as a comedic trailblazer endures, and her contributions to the world of comedy continue to bring joy and laughter to audiences worldwide, making her an important figure in the annals of film and television history.